host, Zach Zande. We're going to be talking about the Michigan Wolverine football team, especially this upcoming 2022 season. We're going to be talking about the schedule. We're going to be talking about the NFL rumors with Jim Harbaugh. We're going to be talking about the biggest controversy in a long time, which is going to be who's going to start a quarterback in 2022, Kate McNamara or J.J. McCarthy. We're also going to be talking about the guys that are going to the draft. Thank you for coming. So let's start off with the 2022 schedule for Michigan football. On September 3rd, you got Colorado State. Then you got September 10th, you got Hawaii. And then you got Connecticut the week after that on September 17th. It's kind of similar to what we had the 2021 season when we had Western. And then we had, Northern Illinois. We didn't have a Washington in there. We don't have a Washington in here like we did for our second game this season. But it's kind of close. And then after that, you got Maryland on September 24th. Then you got Iowa. That's the one that scares me the most because it's at Iowa, at Kinnick Stadium, one of the toughest places to play. The only thing that comes back to my mind is the 2016 game when you had the number 3 team in the country, 10-0, going in to play Iowa. I think they were 6-4 at the time, and they lost. If they would have won that game, they probably would have went to the Big Ten title game. And if they would have won that game, they would have went to the college football playoff. So that one kind of makes me eerie a little bit. And then on October 8th, you have Penn State at home at Michigan, thankfully. And then you got Nebraska at home. After seeing Nebraska play this season, I can't say much about it, but after watching them this season, they were probably the best 3-9 football team in all of college football this season. So I think that's going to be one to watch out for. But after Adrian Martinez, transferred to Kansas State, so we'll see how that works out for them this year. And then you got, I've been reading a bunch of stuff about saying that Michigan game against Michigan State on October 22nd of 2022 was at Michigan State at Spartan Stadium. I've been hearing other things saying that they switched it to Michigan Stadium this year. We'll find out this upcoming more. And then on the 29th of October, you got Illinois. Then we actually have a bye week, so we're actually only playing 3 November games. You got Indiana on the 12th in November. Then you got Rutgers at Rutgers on the 19th. And then after that, you're going to the game. You're going to the game. Ohio State University at the Shoe. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. If Michigan, takes care of their schedule this season, I think it'll be another top 5 matchup. Hopefully we'll get one. I think that after watching them this year, they can do it again. Guys declaring for the draft, the only things I'm concerned with is that you have David Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson, then you also have Chris Hinton, all 3 starting defensive linemen going to the draft. And then we also just lost actually Sean New, our defensive line coach. And everyone's saying, Ryan Osborne is going to be the next man up. He's a good guy. He's a good developer. Aiden said, I've heard things about he's a really good development, with development. So hopefully he can be a good guy if we do end up hiring him as a defensive line coach. You're losing Daxton Hill. Thankfully, we recruited heavy on, we recruited pretty good guys, stat guys on that position, coming in this year. You got guys like Will Johnson coming in, so that should be a good time. Dalen Baldwin's going to the draft. I was kind of shocked by this one. I don't know if he has any more eligibility left. He didn't really produce much this year statistically. I think he's a good athlete. We'll see when the time of the combine comes. And then you got Hassan Haskins. He'll be going down along with Aiden Hutchinson as a legend at Michigan. Running against for 5 touchdowns and nearly almost 200 yards, against Ohio State at home. Big, 3-star recruit, number 974 recruit in the country at the time he was being recruited. Correct me if I'm wrong. The guy is going to be a legend. I can't wait to watch him on Sundays. Then you got Josh Ross. You see all these guys that I just previously mentioned, they're putting out, letters, thanking their families, thanking the coaches, thanking the program. I haven't seen anything from Josh Ross yet. I think he is all done. I think he would be 95, probably done. He's a senior, all that stuff. He had a good year, so I think he'd be going out with, on a high. NFL rumors, with Jim Harbaugh, everyone's talking about, bring the Bears back. He's going back to the Bears. He played for the Bears, and then, apparently the Raiders want him. I don't think he's going back just because you got a guy like Harbaugh who loves the University of Michigan, says he would do the job for free. I don't know if he was referencing Michigan at the time during the interview before the Orange Bowl this past New Year's, but the guy took a pay cut after the 2020 season, and he took all of his incentives from like winning the Big Ten, beating Ohio, like any incentives that he had, he gave it away to the athletic department to help the others in the departments that were hurt by COVID and had to take pay cuts. And now the biggest thing that there's two things that I'm concerned with this up 2022 season. If JJ stays and starts, will Cade leave, and vice versa? If Cade McNamara starts, will JJ leave? That is the only concerning thing, only because that JJ, we've seen, he hasn't really had his time to shine. He's had moments, he's had his, big throws, he's had his, big runs, but we haven't really seen him play like a full game or like a full, a couple full drives, against Indiana. That's whatever. But like in a like the moments where it matters most, you've seen him, do a QB sneak in the end zone against Wisconsin, or you end up seeing him, throwing a couple touchdown passes in, garbage time. But I think the kid has the talent. Seeing him run, especially in the Big Ten game when he was catching up with Blake Corum, coming, running up to get the lead block for him. I was really impressed. I didn't even notice it until I watched the highlights after the game, and I was like, holy crap. And then, you got their stats. You got Cade's stats at 2,576 yards with 15 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Not phenomenal, but they're good numbers. They helped us get, to where we did this, the football program did this season. And I can't be mad about it. I really can't be mad. I was thinking maybe like a 9-3, 10-2 season. Especially after a 2-4 season, you don't expect the team to go to a college football playoff at most. My biggest goal is always being Ohio State. I just want to beat them. Then you got rushing yards. You got 37 attempts and 26 yards. It's like 0.7 average per attempt. And I think that's with the sacks that he has. He's been sacked 11 times this year, which is actually pretty good. I mean, one sack, it was at like around 7 or 8 before the Orange Bowl, but the offensive line did a phenomenal job this year protecting him. And then you got JJ stats, like I said, nothing too flashy. He didn't really get much playing time, but he's got 516 yards passing, 5 TDs, and 2 interceptions with a 57% complete passing completion rate. And then he got 27 attempts at 124 yards rushing. I believe that's with sacks. I think he's been sacked maybe a couple times, like maybe 2 or 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Cade had a good season. I hope that Harbaugh does make the right decision. The most popular guy on the team is the second string quarterback because everybody wants to see him come after you got our first string throw an interception or fumble a ball. But if you want my personal opinion, I think JJ should start. I love Cade. I love what he did for the team. He's a great leader, great teammate. But you can't waste 5-star talent like that, man. Especially seeing that kid throw and run around in the pocket. It's phenomenal. And then this leads me into my next point, talking about leadership with Cade, who can help keep the culture intact that we had this season. With Aiden, Cade, Hassan, they were always talking about the team, player-led meetings, player-led workouts. It was phenomenal to watch. These guys talk about it. 5 games into the season, everyone's like, oh yeah, we have to see it. Then after Michigan State, it plummeted. Can't win the big game. And then after that, they just, they kicked ass. And they made it come into fruition, and I was really excited for the team. And I just hope that, this next year in 2022, that somebody can, because you got Ronnie Bell coming back, you got Taylor Upshaw coming back, you got J.J. McCarthy, under the wing of Cade McNamara. So hopefully you get some of these guys, especially the new guys coming in, that can help keep this culture alive in the way it was this year, because this was a great season. I don't, I couldn't be mad watching the Georgia game. I was watching. I'm like, that's it. That season, the magical season's over. On to 2022. I was just really excited this season. I was at the Ohio State game. I was really excited. It was awesome, just an awesome experience just watching them. And the Big Ten championship game. That was another goal that Harbaugh had. Taking baby steps forward, especially after a 2-4 season. I can't get mad at that. I really can't. 12-2 season, first 12-win season since 1997 when they went undefeated and shared a national title with Nebraska, which Michigan just won it overall, in my opinion. And the first Big Ten championship outright, not shared, outright since 2003. So this is the projection that the wins that this program after the program can take after all these wins, especially these big ones with Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Recruiting should hopefully be astronomical and a lot better. And we did see it on National Signing Day. You got guys flipping from Notre Dame, Clemson, wanting to come here. And you see a lot of these, I've read some of the recruiting reports on some of these guys, and these guys are like, they're studs. 6'3" guy. I don't know, remember the name, but one of the guys is running like a sub 4.4, and that's crazy. He's 6'3". So I just can't wait to see these guys, coming up in the 2022 season. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next week. Go Blue.